Oh, it is. The microphone is working. Can I get a... Why is... That's interesting, because I have my window open, and it looks like I am in better focus on my camera than I am on the camera that's appearing on Streamlabs. Let me see if I can autofocus this. Oh, well, I guess I wasn't focused, because now I am focused. Anyway, welcome back. I know we missed last week. Don't worry, it wasn't too much. Who cares? I just have to wait for maintenance, which is a pain in the ass, because maintenance, of course, never tells you, like, when they're coming. But if I was, like, in the middle of recording a live stream podcast sort of thing, and they just came in the middle, then I would just have to stop the show. And that would have been really annoying. And, of course, they didn't come on Monday. They came on Wednesday. But I had put the ticket in on Sunday, and I didn't know when they were going to come. This is Monday Morning Coffee, episode 31. I have a cup of coffee, I have a list of topics, and I'm going to talk about the topics, at least theoretically, until I am done with the coffee. So we have the stuff from both last week to talk about, because of course we didn't do, last week was supposed to be episode 31, we didn't do it last week. So we're going to talk about all the stuff, the updates from last week, as well as the updates from this week. There really isn't that many updates for this week. So it's mostly going to be talking about the last week stuff, because last week we actually did have some things. Of course, the whatever. I'm just going to get going. I don't even care. There's new videos and blog posts coming soon. According to this document, I'm aiming to make it semi-regular. That means that it's not a defined, consistent time, so they're not coming out every single week. For the videos, I'm trying to aim for every single week for Saturday, but that's only because the videos are pretty low pool. The blog posts, this isn't very different. I've talked about this before, that I'm trying to get, I'm doing a more, not as a regular blog post, but I'm still trying to do it, and I'm still in that process, but there hasn't been one for a while, because I kind of just ran out of ideas, and so I'm still going through that process. As you could probably tell, there's a video coming this upcoming Saturday. It is called Don't Go in the Basement, and it has a very scary person for a thumbnail. So if you click that video, you would probably assume that it was some sort of creepypasta or scary story. If you thought that, you are absolutely incorrect, you dumbass. It's the House Flipper edit. It's from that one time that I played House Flipper, and it was kind of funny. I edited that together because that was one of the most requested videos to actually... That was one of the most requested live streams to actually turn into a video, and now that I'm doing that, now that I'm back to making the longer videos, I put that one in there. There's a bit where we go into the basement, and the basement is scary. So that's where that title and thumbnail comes from. I'm sure if anybody clicks it, there's probably going to be a couple of complaints. Could be a couple of dislikes on that video by default. But you win some, you lose some. Anyway, also there will still be shorts on this channel, but it'll be kind of the same thing as it was with the new videos. They're not going to come out every single... I think for a while they were coming out every single Tuesday and Thursday, but I decided I didn't like that format, and the reason I didn't like that format was because the videos were kind of lower quality. So I would rather it be unique content every single time, right? I don't really want to rehash, with the exception of these upcoming longer form videos, which are going to be stream highlights, but they're going to be very specific stream highlights from videos that I actually liked. In fact, I think there's only one other... No, sorry, there are two streams. There are two streams, really a series of streams, that are going to get their own videos. One of them is Half-Life Alyx, one of them is going to be, what's the other one? BeamNG. So, but other than that, it's going to be original content from here on out. It's just not going to be super regular. So those next couple... They probably will come out every Saturday, but once it starts being more I'm just making the content on the fly, don't expect it every Saturday. And even then, it's like a bitch to edit those videos, so actually maybe they won't come out every Saturday. So maybe that's not even true. So just don't listen to me on this. But they will be coming out on Saturday, because I just always release videos on Saturday, because it's easier. I've decided I'm cutting out the Twitter stuff. Wonk wonk. Salute to all the brave soldiers who fought that in the 1,000 follower competition that it was going to be the Twitter first because I just stopped doing. In fact, this is very well timed to be discussing this on today as opposed to last week, because I've just been signed out on every single platform on Twitter, and I have no idea why. It will not let me sign in anymore. I'll double check it just to make sure. I am completely signed out. If I sign in with Google, it asks me for my authentication. I give it my authentication code, and then it just reloads and it immediately signs me back out again. So I'm assuming that was a Twitter error and that my account did not get hacked, because I haven't seen. I've also just been looking at the account. It doesn't appear as though anything has changed. So I don't think I'm hacked. I think Twitter is just broken, which is one of the reasons why I'm not using the Twitter anymore. It's also because it's kind of just a pain in the ass that they're moving so many features to blue, but I also don't use Twitter that much. I only use Twitter as a means to share things in the same way that I use every single social media as a way to share things. So for example, on YouTube, I actually do use YouTube, right? Because I actually watch other videos. Same thing with Pinterest. I use Pinterest, okay? I don't even use TikTok. So TikTok could be on the chopping block here, even though, of course, it's not going to be because it's growing so fast. But I don't watch TikTok videos, so that could technically be on the chopping block because I just don't use the platform. It was the same with Twitter, but Twitter made it too complicated, so I was like, I don't really care. Like they put if you want to do any marketing promotions, they do it so that you have to have Twitter Blue now. I'm like, you're not worth $8. You're not worth $8 a month. Maybe if you were like a social media publishing platform where I could do all of my marketing campaigns in one area, that would be worth $8 a month. But you specifically are not worth $8 a month. So that was my reasoning there. So we're not really going to be doing that much on Twitter. If I do post on Twitter, it's just because I'm posting on Twitter. There's no like special campaigns or effort to grow at all. I was live tweeting some of the stuff from Fish Tank because I have been watching a lot of Fish Tank. That's one of the things that we can talk about later when we do the what I've been ... ing for watching. It's been Fish Tank. But I haven't like been using it beyond that. So and apparently now I can't sign in because I cannot sign in. I don't know why. I don't know why it stopped me from signing in. I cannot sign in on any platform. It sucks, I guess. I don't know. Well, I guess that's that. So, it's weird because I have like the code. I have the Twitter code, like the authentication stuff. Like I have all that stuff. It just doesn't work. It was very interesting. Oh, and another thing. So this one's interesting. This is the one from this week. I have considered porting the JBR site over from Webflow to WordPress. Because the problem with Webflow is that it gives you a lot of features of stuff to do and how you can change and rearrange the website. But I'm beginning to realize that I probably don't need all of that. I probably don't need to have so many different ways of reconfiguring a website. I just need to have a website. I need to have a website with a couple of pages where I explain stuff. I did a blog, just like my current website, astukery.com. And so I decided, hey, the best way of doing that is just to make another WordPress site, because WordPress can do all that. The only thing bad is memberships. So WordPress, of course, doesn't do memberships. Webflow didn't do memberships, but it's doing it now. So I wonder but I also know it's probably going to cost a shit ton of money, and I've been able to get around the membership thing with stuff like Gumroad and stuff anyway. So I'm not super worried about it at this point. I think I'm just going to keep it how it is, and maybe move over to WordPress. I'll start that process. Well, I'll start excavating, like exploring my options on WordPress tomorrow. But by the time we get to next Monday, it might be on WordPress now. But not much will change. I'm just literally going to copy and paste all the stuff, and the domain will be the same and everything like that, but it'll be on WordPress instead of on Webflow, and so it'll probably look slightly different. In terms of new releases, nothing special, just more Film the Rhythm. That's every Friday on the TikTok, which I guess is a good segue, because there has been some interesting things going on in the 1K follower series. In case you guys don't know, by the end of this year, I want to get 1,000 followers on one of my social media platforms. But the problem is I don't know which one. There are currently 3 in the running. There used to be 4, but like I just said, Twitter is gone. So there's is fallen to just Pinterest, YouTube, and TikTok. And let me get rid of, holy shit, I have so many tabs. Oh, the Patreon's coming back. Well, the Patreon was never there. I used to use Gumroad, but a Stukery Premium. So some of you, I think I talked about this, like, not last week, obviously, but the week before last week, that currently you cannot download the uncensored version of Sims 4, of the Sims 4 video, and it's because I took down a Stukery Premium because I was moving it over to Patreon. And I have finally started that process. There is a page, patreon.com/Stukery, but there's nothing on there, so wait until I actually finish that. Do not subscribe to it yet. Anyway, now that I have this set up, let's look at this stuff. You know, at this point, I'm not even... When I switch tabs and there's porn, I'm just going to be like, whatever, who fucking cares? Okay. So, here's Pinterest. I hope this doesn't have any, like, information. No, I don't think it does. So, on Pinterest, we have 530 followers. So, we're doing pretty good. It's actually been growing. Shocking. It was stagnant for a very long time at 518, but there has been some form of a jump up. I have been running a couple of ads on boys and girls related content, so it might be related to that, but we do have the counts are still really low. So this used to be 500k monthly views, now it's only 390k monthly views, but I'm not really worried about that because that's still an insanely high number. More worried, of course, about the followers. It's all about the followers. At 530 means that this one's picking up again. This one's still growing. Shocking, but it's happening. Pretty impressive. On the side of things that are only getting worse, not better, is this page. Where I am right now. It's never been more over. It's actually the worst it's ever been. I am almost back to January numbers in terms of subscribers. I don't actually care that much. But I think it's very funny that nature is apparently receding. And hopefully by the time that we get to the end of the year, I don't think it's going to be at 1,000 subscribers. I think it's going to be at 75 subscribers, which is where I started. Or, well, on this channel, I started at... How many did I have on this channel? I think I had like 3. So we might just have 3 followers on this channel by the end of the year. It's completely possible. But however, I did want to add an addendum. It's very important. And hopefully this is still relevant. It looks like it is. The Stukery. The original channel that I moved everything away from is now growing because of Feeling the Rhythm. It finally broke 50. It was stuck on 75 subscribers for a shit ton of time. It is now just within a week, 4 more have been added. It's at 79, which is insane. And I feel like what I'm afraid of now is that this is starting to grow a ton. And it is going to overtake this channel that I moved everything over to. But I feel like, but that's okay, sort of. Because I feel like it also makes sense. I feel like this being the, like, funny haha stuff, like real life, me doing the podcast, everything like that. And then the main channel, which is still named as Stukery 2, even though it is a Stukery 1. And the names are just fucked up, and that's gonna be like that for a while, but who cares? At least I have both of the names. This channel, I feel like for the story stuff, makes a lot of sense. So I'm not really worried about this being like how it is. But it is very funny that it's just now decided to start growing. Even though it hasn't grown for years. It has been at 75 since like 2015. No chance. But this series did it, which I think is funny. How much did the newest ones are getting a ton of views for some reason, and I don't really know why. Because if you look on part 1, this is the number thing I don't understand. You look on part 1 of Feel in the Rhythm. It has 1 view. Now on TikTok it makes more sense. On TikTok it says the first episode has almost 10,000 views. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. So you're starting from the beginning, and then there's sort of like a drift that goes on across the rest of them. For this one, people skipped like the first 4 episodes, and they're just going cold turkey on part 5. And honestly, I mean, I don't really know how good that is. I don't know how much information you're able to retain starting on part 5 in comparison to just skipping part 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I mean, they're only 1-minute episodes, so I mean, you probably could, right? If all the exposition happens in like the first couple of minutes of a movie, you just skip the exposition. You theoretically would be fine on this. I don't know. See, with the boys and girls one, it made a lot more sense. I mean, it seemed like everybody, they just watched the odd number ones for this one. But it did start on part 1. Part 1 was pretty popular. And then part 3 and part 5, which each successive one got more views. I don't really understand that part either. But I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Sort of. And of course, still reigning supreme, still number 1, a Sukri TikTok, almost at 300 followers now. I feel like this one, if it keeps growing how it is, it'll just be the top one. I actually forget how much it grew from the last one, but yeah, who cares? So that's been that's a 1,000 follower roundup. Thanks for watching. Okay, so yeah, the Sukri is still number 1 in terms of growth. Sorry, the TikTok is still number 1 in terms of growth. I'm starting to think that I should count this one, not this channel. This one is growing, and then the Pinterest is also growing. So now it's not just one race of just the TikTok. Now there's a couple of people who are stacking. I see a question in the chat. What do you do when there's no viewers? Do you just keep recording for prosperity? Yes, these are all recorded, so I actually don't expect anybody to come here. These are for my own. This is for my own records, because they're all updates that happen over time, and so I'll do a bunch of them, and then in like a year I'll look back at the progress and see where I've been. But I also like to answer questions from chat, so so there's also a reason for it being live, even though I can also just record them and it doesn't really matter that much. But thank you for clicking and being curious. I appreciate that much. Anyway, let me take it back to the show. Monday morning coffee. That's right. Episode 31. I've been doing this for a while, too. Happens every week, so it's almost a year. Where was I on the shit? I closed out of it. We had more. There was another segment of this that I was supposed to do. Shit. Morning coffee. Oh, the what I've been blanking. So, of course, there are 4 categories here. What I've been reading, playing, listening, watching. This is another fun part to answer your question of going back to this part specifically, because I can look back at like, oh, what was I doing back in like January of 2023? And I watched like, oh, I'm really enjoying this game. And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, if only he knew that game's ending fucking sucked. I've done that a couple of times. Not with this show, but I used to do a blog post version of this. And I've looked back at some of the things I like thought were good or thought were bad at the time. I was like, oh, my opinion changed on that super hard. But for right now, alas, there is not much that I've been doing because I've been busy setting up my business and everything like that. For reading, I haven't been like reading, but I've been organizing reading, which is kind of weird. But I've been trying to get all of my ebooks and PDFs and stuff into my new reader of choice, which is Readwise. It's a very good app. I really enjoy it. I don't have any problems with the app. It's just a pain in the ass to get all this shit into one place. So it's been a longer process that I don't know when I'm going to finish. For playing, I have been playing Pathfinder. I know, I said a couple of episodes ago, I said that I was only going to be doing what did I say I was going to be doing? One RPG at a time, so I could be focused on just nailing down that RPG. The only problem is that some of these RPGs, they have such a lull in between, especially if you're playing something like Persona, where Persona is very much like there are periods of story, periods of rest, periods of story, periods of rest. And once you get into a period of rest, it's like, okay, well, I don't really care about what's going on right now, so I just have to like do my dailies and stuff or whatever. Whereas a game like a CRPG, like Pathfinder, and the last RPG I beat was also a CRPG. That was a Path of Eternity? No, Pillars of Eternity, the first one. Yes, that one. Those ones are more faster paced. And of course, I have also been. In addition to that, that's actually not the only one. In addition to that, since I have the Steam Deck, I've also been playing Final Fantasy 12 on the Steam Deck. That's the one that's on Steam, the Zodiac Age, the remake. So I immediately broke that rule. I think that rule lasted 2 months at most, and I have immediately broken it. But I'm hoping that I can still get a focus on like actually finishing RPGs instead of just like starting them, lasting for like a couple of hours and then never finishing them again, because holy shit, these things are so goddamn long. But they are definitely the most enjoyable genre. I personally think they're just holy shit, they are so long. That's the only problem with them. I wish there were I wish the greatest RPGs of all time, if such a thing could be created, would all be 10 hours. They would be, you sit down like Undertale. Although I didn't really like Undertale that much, but like the concept of Undertale, right? Or you just gotta sit down. It's like pretty linear. You just do the thing. You know, it takes like 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that. That's what all RPGs should be. They should not be 500 hours long. Jesus. But they are pretty good. And I do enjoy them. I am enjoying Persona 3, even though there is a lull. I am enjoying Pathfinder. So far, I said that weird. Pathfinder, I got excited at the end because I was like, I am enjoying Pathfinder. That's how I meant to say it. I am enjoying Pathfinder. The first one, I don't know how these games are rated. I just got them for free. Well, no, I got the first one for free through Humble Bundle, because it used to be on Humble Bundle, and then I bought Wrath of the Righteous, which is the new one, the second one. I own that one too. I have a huge fucking RPG backlog, and I just keep buying them as soon as people recommend them to me. It's very sad because I bought the entire Gothic and Risen series. I think there are, I want to say 4 Gothic games and 3 Risen games. I bought all of them, and then I found out because of compatibility issues, like 2 of them run on this PC. Because they're all made for like XP computers. There is a way to run them. They do run. I have an older laptop, and they do run the older laptop, and I think there are also ways to get them to run via like as sort of like emulator sorts of things, or like virtual machines. But out of the box on Windows 11, you cannot really get Gothic 1 running. Oh, well, there might also be unofficial patches. I didn't really look into that. I'm sure there's like unofficial patches for all of them, because I mean, it's fucking Gothic. Like, everybody plays Gothic. That is still the game that every Russian is playing. They're not playing the Tears of the Kingdom pirate that just came out today. They're playing Gothic 1 and 2. And then the Risen ones are newer, right? They're just not as good. So nobody really cares about Risen, but I think they all run, and I think Gothic 3 might run, because Gothic 3 is, 2004, 2005? So it's right at the cutoff. See, now I'm curious. That's what this show is all about. It's about me going on wild tangents as a sandbagging excuse to finish this coffee. I can also look at the upper game. Oh, I touched a little bit of Harvestella, but that one I'm not as worried about because that's like an Animal Crossing thing. The way I treat Animal Crossing, I log in every 5 months, and I clean the weeds, and I talk to the villagers to make sure they don't leave, and I leave for another 5 months. I play Harvestella and Rune Factory kind of the same way. Okay. Can I see the backlog Fortunately, I have all of my games organized, so this shouldn't be very hard once I figure out how to see them. I want the RPG section specifically. Where is this? Why is there so many of these? God, good God, I need to stop buying video games. I actually don't own that many video games, though. Alright, so the first thing here, I bought Arcanum, which I think was a mistake, because I think Arcanum's actually free. I think it's freeware, but I bought it. This one I don't know. I think I just got it for free. I own Darkwood. Darkwood's not really like an RPG though. Darkwood's kind of like a Project Zomboid sort of thing, I think. Like a survival game. Disco Elysium, which is way too fucking long. Divinity Original Sin 2, which I have not touched because I was in the middle of playing Divinity Original Sin 1, which is very good. I just once again, it's one of those that I just dropped. I do own Path of the Righteous, or Wrath of the Righteous, same thing. Shadowrun Returns, Underrail. I got Wise Origin. Oh, and that's not counting emulated games. Okay, now I'm starting to worry myself. I'm not looking at this anymore. This is giving me anxiety. Let's go to watching. I've been watching Fish Tank. That's right, the reality TV show by Mr. Sam Hyde and Jet Neptune. It's a show that everybody... Jesus. It's a show that everybody who is terminally online seems to be watching right now. As of where we sit, they are on, I think, day 14. They've currently started the Disability Challenge, where every single one of them has to pretend to have a different physical disability, or mental disability in some cases, which, I mean, they're all already like that, so that's not too bad. I wish I could fucking sign in, so I can at least see the hashtags. You can't look at hashtags when you're, It doesn't let you look at hashtag if you're not signed in. So I just have to find like a Fish Tank account and see what they're doing right now. Okay, yeah, no, I think they're still doing the amputee thing or the disabled thing. So that's what's been going on. I'm not going to talk too much about that one. That's been that. I think we have covered everything. I have not finished the coffee. I don't remember the last episode where I was actually able to finish the coffee while talking, but if we can end this video 30 minutes early, I'm going to call that a win. Cheers. But I don't want to spill this everywhere. I'm going to assume you heard that. I didn't hear it. Alright, so of course next week will be episode 32. We do have a video that's coming up on this channel that'll be released on Saturday. But other than that, I don't have too much coming up, so I'll just see you in the next one. And let me remember to I think I skipped the outro in the last couple of Monday Morning Coffees, so I'm going to remember to do the outro this time. But I will see you in the next one.